Alright, let's turn this thing on, see what the fuck happens. Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. Hope you guys are doing well. Thanks for all the love and support, all the likes, the dislikes, all the comments, or no comments. But we appreciate comments if you decide to leave them. And we're still trying to figure out, what our flow is. But, thank you for all those who do come and watch and listen and hang out. And sooner than later, we're going to be on Spotify, so that way you can listen wherever you are.
And you don't have to be on YouTube.
Yeah, you don't have to be on YouTube. So we're going to figure all that shenanigans out. But until then, it's Terrible Gamer.
And Kidrick.
Here we are, episode 4. Hey, if anybody out there wants to help spread the Fukkaru Podcast, just hit the share button. Share with everybody.
Yeah, send it to anybody and everybody. Send it to your mom, your auntie, your uncle, your little cousin, the little baby in the womb. Send it to whoever the hell you can.
Yeah.
Whatever helps.
Yeah, it all helps, and we appreciate it. And Kidrick and I are both a lot on the same page. Like we do this because whenever we guys get together, we always have great conversations, anyways. But we have a vision for this channel, and we want it. It's going to get big. We're going to have 1,000 subscribers, and then 10,000, and then 100,000, and then 500,000, and then 1 million.
Yeah,
whatever.
We just want to get far with it.
But eventually we want to have guests on, and I'm out and about on a daily basis, and I think when you're excited about something, you talk about whatever you're excited about. And I share the podcast with people all the time when I'm out and about, and typically, where I'm talking about Dragon Ball, so that's where it comes up, and I'm like, yeah, my buddy and I, we have a podcast, and we just talk about Dragon Ball basically 90% of the time, and then some cars and some other games.
Most of our videos involve Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Like, if you really, listen to our podcast, the first one we talked about was all about Dragon Ball. Mm-hmm. Second one, which was about the car stuff, we kind of put a little bit of Dragon Ball here and there about it.
Yeah.
We mentioned it, we talked about it a little bit, and then we moved on to cars and everything else. And then this recent one was mainly supposed to be about Ghost of Tsushima, but
we couldn't help ourselves.
Yeah, we couldn't help ourselves and talked about Dragon Ball as well. So it's just kind of something that just keeps coming up. But yeah, nothing wrong with it.
No, it's a huge part of our life. I think, individually,
grew up with it.
Yeah, definitely grew up. And in the first episode, we talked about that, kind of how we got into Dragon Ball and stuff. But I think one of the things that's really fascinating is the more people I meet, I feel like back in the day, people were a little, if you were a Dragon Ball fan, you were weird. You were categorized as a weirdo or a kid or whatever. Even me going through school, I never told anybody I liked Dragon Ball, because, when you told people or told anybody that you liked Dragon Ball, you were automatically labeled as a fucking a weirdo
or a nerd
or a geek or
Yeah,
or straight up, if there were certain animes, you were emo just because you fucking watched Dragon Ball or Sailor Moon or whatever, whatever it may be. Nowadays, it's so popular.
Yeah, it's everywhere now.
It's everywhere. And, like we mentioned in the last episode, we talked about, kind of how ridiculous Dragon Ball is getting with the power scaling and the evolutions and the transformations and the enemies. And, through and through, regardless of what they do with it, I'll always be a fan. I will definitely have my own opinion about it. I'll still watch it and be a fan of it, but I do find how really cool it is now. I'm 35 years old, right? So if I meet someone in the store and I'm hanging out, or I'm just trying to ask someone, hey man, do you know where the action figures are? Do you know where this is? And I don't do it super often, but it is funny when people are like, oh, you like Dragon Ball too? Or I'll see people with a phone case, and it'll have Goku on it, or it'll have Broly, or it'll have one of the characters on it, and I'm like, you a Dragon Ball fan? And it's a dead giveaway. Obviously they're a fan. Excuse me.
I've never seen anybody have Piccolo.
You really don't. Dude, it's Goku, Vegeta, Broly,
Gohan.
Gohan, or it's fusions and Trunks.
Yeah.
No one ever has
Piccolo,
Krillin.
Sometimes you'll see Master Roshi,
yeah, maybe, but he's probably in his bulk form.
Yeah.
Right? He doesn't look like
or he's being a pervert.
Yeah. Actually, funny enough, so I was at work the other day, and I was taking care of this table, and the guy had this case, and it was a Goku case, and he told me where he got it from. It was online, and you can customize the cases and stuff, but it's Goku and Frieza Saga doing the Spirit Bomb, right? So the orange is cut, and it's just the blue undershirt, and it's pretty Super Saiyan. And then he has his name in the corner, and it's like an orange background with a Goku up top, and he's like in the like aura of the Spirit Bomb, where he's like sending the energy. Yeah. And I was like, dude, that is a sick case. And the guy's like, thanks, bro. Yeah, I appreciate it. He's like, yeah, man. And his wife, just straight out of it, he's a massive Dragon Ball nerd. I said, no way, me too. And he was like, yeah? I'm like, yeah, heck, actually, my buddy and I, we have a podcast, and we just basically talk about Dragon Ball all the time. He's like, no way, what's your YouTube channel?
I mean, our freaking picture is literally of, like, Gohan's hair with a Dragon Ball.
Right, I mean, if it doesn't...
And then the lettering for our Fukkaru Podcast is Dragon Ball, so it's like, we kind of have... It's kind of like a freaking obvious look.
It's very obvious, yeah, so... He's just like, what? He's like, for real? And she looks at me and she goes, oh, that's amazing. This would be the easiest subscription you ever get. He loves Dragon Ball and he loves podcasts. I'm like, let's go! This is great. So, like, I trade information with him and I send him the link and he's like, bro, subscribe. I got you, bro. I'm like, that's what's up, man. Like, appreciate it. And shout out to you, bro, for subscribing. And that's awesome. Because I think a lot of people have, I think, good intentions, but they just don't follow it with actions. And it's cool. Like, I love seeing small channels grow, and I love seeing hard work pay off. So it's like, it's cool. But anyways, yeah, so we do talk a lot about Dragon Ball.
Like now, we're talking about it.
Yeah, we're talking about it all the time.
But I mean, I think the real reason why we talk about it is just because it's easy. We know about it so well. Like, we've been with it since kids, so it's like...
honestly, I feel like Dragon Ball is like a family member. Like,
yeah, no, seriously, because
it's such a part of my life.
Exactly, yeah.
It's like bro, I'll be talking to people, and I'll just use analogies, and I'll use Dragon Ball to build the analogy or the story or whatever. And it's, when people look at me, they're like, huh? And I'm like, you know about Dragon Ball Z? They're like, no. I'm like, never mind. This will make no sense to you. I just confused you even more. I apologize. So sorry. What do you like? Nothing. Awesome. Good combo. I'm out. Like it happens.
Nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you. Bye.
Someone else will help you.
Yeah. Yeah, it is easy to talk about, but I think also because it has, I mean, for me personally, and I know from all our conversations we've had together, it's so much of our life has, like, Dragon Ball means actually a lot. And not just because it's a good show or whatever it may be, but mainly because, like, there have been things in our life that we've gone through that we've been able to, like, look back at Dragon Ball and be like, oh, I can relate to that.
Yeah. See, it's like what we were talking about on the very first podcast that we made that y'all will never get to see. I look at Dragon Ball as, like, not only as an anime or a manga or whatever, I look at it as life. Because, like, you learn, people say that anime's for children.
Right.
And they say that it's cartoons or it's this and that. Well, obviously they're fucking stupid. Because the fact that, anime, it tells you things.
Their opinion is stupid.
Well, their opinion is fucking stupid. So, but, like, the way I looked at anime as a kid was obviously, because it was colorful and this and that, the cool fighting, transformations and everything. I was like, oh, that's sick as fuck, as a kid. But now as an adult, and I've gone through, like, certain things in my life, and I've done things in my life, you watch back on that stuff, and it's like, it's telling you something. Like Vegeta's pride. How no matter what happens, he never gives up his pride. He never does see, and if he does, like he did in Dragon Ball Super, the tournament, he gave it to Goku. Right. He gave everything to Goku.
And he counted on him.
Yeah, and, like,
he's a part of his race.
Yeah.
So that would make sense.
So it's like, that's how I see it. It's like, I have a lot of pride in myself. I have a lot of pride in my family, my friends. And, I don't let anybody take that away from me. I don't let anybody bring my pride down. I don't let anybody look down on me or nothing.
Tarnish your reputation.
Exactly, yeah. So I look at anime as kind of like a, what would you call it? I guess...
It's almost like an acronym for life for me.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's exactly what I mean by that. Yeah, because it's like it's not only Dragon Ball Z. I mean, I've watched
Tons of animes.
tons. Like it's honestly kind of sad at the same time. But note, like, you know, I was single for 5-6 years, so that entire 5-6 years I was on anime because it made me feel better.
Right.
Like, because there's always stupid comedy in the anime, like Goku being dumb.
Goku. Right.
And then you have like Vegeta being always so serious, and then you know it's like stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then it's not only that anime. Like it's Naruto, it's Black Clover, it's My Hero Academia. It's you know several animes, and each anime gives you a different perspective. Like in Naruto, you haven't watched Naruto.
I haven't seen it yet.
But in Naruto, like there's a lot of heartfelt stuff. Like I almost cried.
Like tear-jerking.
Dude,
shit,
I
bro.
almost cried in Naruto. Because there's this part where the main character named Naruto, obviously, fucking named that.
Spoiler alert.
But he has a sensei, a master, who's named Jiraiya. And Jiraiya is with him, I think it was like for 3 years or something like that, training.
Okay.
So Naruto's spending 3 years with his master, you know, bonding and, you know, doing all that stuff, training. And then until his master dies.
Oh.
By what's it called? An organization named Akatsuki.
The
leader.
ones with the red clouds.
With the red clouds,
Oh.
yeah. But there was one his name's Pain, who's basically the leader of the whole thing. Oh, actually, no, he's not. But either way, he kills Jiraiya, and then Naruto finds out, and then it's just fucking sad, man. Like, Naruto, he just leaves the room, says nothing, he's crying, you know, he's this and that, and I'm like, dude, fuck, this hurts.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to cry.
Right.
I'm
It's
like,
because I feel like we find ourselves in different characters.
and there's, yeah, dude, oh yeah,
in different situations.
definitely.
And it may not be that exact scenario, but we like grow with the characters in the story,
Yeah.
and you build like a bond. Like you can, and it's amazing how they do it, because in a movie, you know, you've got 30 minutes to get you connected to the main character and stuff like that, right?
It is so funny because in movies, when it comes to like that type of stuff, I don't cry, I don't drop a fucking tear. But when it comes to anime, I'm bawling like a bitch.
Ballin'!
Like, dude, like when Master Roshi almost died
Oh yeah.
in the Tournament of Power, or like where they thought he was gonna die.
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
Dude, I fucking nearly dropped so many tears.
Yeah.
I almost
Yeah.
cried so bad because I was like, dude, Master Roshi's been in my life my
He's
entire
like
life.
a master to you.
Yeah, he's like my grandpa.
Right, exactly.
He's life.
Exactly.
I mean,
and
except
it's,
he's really perverted,
yeah,
perverted. or
bro,
whatever.
but have you ever met a 60 or a 70-year-old man who's not married? Even one that is married, they are a fucking pervert. We'll take the name out, but yes. Yeah.
Old man at work.
Dude, old man. Old man, all they thinking about is getting their dick wet, bro. That's it.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, for real,
It's
right?
true. No, it's true. It's very true.
Okay, so is to your point about like getting connected to these characters, and you get into the anime, you get into the story, you build the characters, and you get into them, and I know about, for me, I start to see different parts of myself in certain characters, and then I see other people in my life. Like I have mentors, I have coaches, I have people that I mentor, I have people that, you know what I mean, that are just friends, I have people that are like best friends, brothers that aren't even blood, right? And I see in these different characters in the different animes, it's like I can see different people that in my mind, they flash in my mind, like that character reminds me of so-and-so. Yeah. And I see that, and I can, not 100%, but different things, glimpses, whatever it may be. So when things happen to that character, like a Vegeta character, or a Goku, or a Krillin, or a Yamcha, or the Master Roshi character, it's like, when stuff happens, it's like, it literally becomes, it's literally, like I said before, it's a part of my life. Because I resonate friends and family and people to these characters. And then I start to see things in my own life, you know, whether it's good or bad. I will see, like in My Hero Academia, there's one of the things, like the main storyline is this kid has no ability to have any type of superpower, but he does what superheroes do. They run into the face of danger, right? Like he just has, because he is obsessed with being a superhero, and what I see is someone who's obsessed with a dream. someone who's obsessed with a goal, obsessed with a vision, obsessed with something that they want so badly that they're willing to put themselves in harm's way, not even thinking about putting themselves in harm's way, just to go do the right thing. And, you know, I'm not obsessed with being a superhero or anything like that,
but you have your goals that you want to achieve.
Yeah, man, I can relate to it, and I'm like, dude, you see this puny ass, dorky little nerdy ass kid running into like a ball of fire, and he has no ability to do anything other than just whatever a human can do, right? And you have all these superheroes, these people who have these strange abilities, and they're not doing anything. They're grown-ups. They're adults. And this kid with this desire to be something that the world tells him he's never going to be because you do not possess the ability, this quirk, or this ability to have something special. What makes him so special is his desire to want something so bad.
Yeah.
And it's like, I watch that, and I'm like, holy crap, dude. And like, it just helps me. Probably one of the things with myself is I beat myself up more than I praise. And I don't ever want to be overconfident and cocky and stuff, but it is good to take a look at the work you've done and be like, that's awesome. Good job. Good job. You know, good job, bro. Like, you did that. Like, but you have to praise yourself, because the whole world really doesn't give crap about you. And the people that are closest to you,
unless you're famous or rich.
Right, exactly. And the people that are closest to you, some of them are so worried with their own insecurities, their own life, they don't have enough time to see the good you do. And so, if we never take time to like reward ourselves with a pat on the back, or be like, bro, you got this, you can do this. We're always constantly living in a world where we beat ourselves up, or we're being beat up. Anime brings light to myself to be like, man, I've done stuff like that before. Like, it reminds me of things like, I'm like, dude, I had no business being in that room with those people, with that mindset and those pocketbooks. You know what I mean? But I went in that room because my mentality was, you're no better than me. Your bank account doesn't make you better than me. I could have that bank account. I could think like you. I can be with the best of them. And just examples and stuff. And then, you know, whatever. But so 100%, bro, like the animes it's fake, right? It's like it's a cartoon. And so it's so much easier to like see yourself in a character than to see yourself in a person. I don't know, that's just me though.
It makes sense though. I mean, that's kind of how I look at it. That's why I don't really, like, honestly, I don't really watch TV shows or movies or nothing like. I mean, I watch horror movies, but that's just for my own personal
That's just
entertainment.
because you're a whore.
Definitely, big one. But when it comes to like anime, dude, like I get into it. Like, I'm not just watching it to watch it,
right,
or watching it just to see a fight or a transformation. I'm watching it because, you know, it has something to do with
like life and
me.
perspective.
Yeah, like my life, or, you know, seeing myself in a character, or, you know, building of friendship and bonds and shit like that. You know.
Yeah.
That's why I watch it, because I'm like, you know, I wanna feel this type of stuff. I wanna be able to see what, you know, how it's going and where it's going and everything else.
Yeah, and it's funny, like when we were talking in the first episode, that like the actual first episode.
Yeah.
And you were talking about like Vegeta and your correlation to Vegeta, and I was like, man, I see that so much, like the pride factor. Like, you give a damn about who you are, where you come from, and what you're about.
Yep. And
the work you do, and I see it in the work you do at work, and I see it in the work you do with the things that you are passionate about, you know, your cars. And I also see it even in the gameplay. Like, it sounds silly, you know, but you are methodical about, you know, sometimes you're like, I don't give a shit, whatever. But even in your I don't care whatever, you still take time to make the effort to make the character just so, or to make the car look a certain way, or do a certain thing. Like, if you have a vision for something that you want, you don't stop until it gets done.
Yeah, and I don't take shortcuts. I don't do any of that stuff. I go straight to the point and try to get to where I have my vision.
Yeah.
So, like in cars, the way I like my cars, you know, I always do them like rule. I'll slam it, put some wheels on it, make it look nice. That's always my first vision because, you know, it's kind of like my base. It's where I want to start. It's how I want it to look. And then I always do a second version of my car. And that's when I go for more of an aggressive look. Yep. So, like, I always try to do, like, a front lip extension. I slam it a little bit more. I'll add a side skirt, a big wing, or something like that. I always do
like
something.
Eyelids or something to, like, when you...
A different hood.
When you hook up... When you get eye to eye with your car, like, that's me.
Yeah, dude, exactly.
Like, that's me.
Like, I'm scared of that.
Yeah, that's like, ooh.
But
okay.
I always try, but I always try to go above and beyond and try to make my stuff as perfect as it can be.
Yeah.
You know, it's never gonna be perfect because nothing's ever fucking perfect.
Right. Sure.
But I get it to where I'm happy with it.
And what the other 100%. And the other thing I noticed too is like, if you see something and it kind of like annoys you, like even if it's a blemish, like you'll go back over the whole friggin' thing, not just the area.
Yeah,
because you're not just gonna like you'll go over the whole thing. So whether that's OCD or your, you know, pride of who you are, it's a little bit of both, and that's a good thing.
Yeah. When it comes to like my pride, like I don't let anybody disrespect me. That's my main thing.
Yeah.
Like I don't let anybody disrespect me, my friends, or my family, or none of us because of the fact that, you know, once you're in my life, you're a part of me. You know, you're not just a friend.
Right.
I mean, unless you're like one of those friends I just say what's up to, and then that's about it. Then you're kind of
more like an acquaintance.
Yeah. You're just kind of like, you know, you're a cool person. I'm not gonna trash talk you. I'm not gonna say anything about you.
Right.
You know, but I'll just say what's up, and you're cool. That's it. But if you're like someone I talk to every day, I hang out with, you know, I'm chill with, I can make jokes, I can be dumb with you and shit, I count you as a real friend.
Yeah.
So, you know, I have your back as much as a fucking, you know, a female lion has a male lion's back.
Yeah.
You know, they're always on each other's back. The queen always protects the king. So I have your back just as much as lions do, or as wolves do. Let's use wolves instead because none of us are females. But that's how I see as my pride. I use that as my pride. I use that as my respect. You know, I guess for me, pride and respect are kind of the same thing for me because, you know, if you expect me to respect you, you have to give me some respect. Yeah. You know, you don't just get it. You know, I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, well, respect, I got you. You know, I'll give you respect, but you treat me like shit. Right. It's got to be a, you know, it's back and forth. Yeah. So like, if you want respect from me, it's equal. You got to give me the respect. Right. And if you don't give me the respect, why would I respect? I'm gonna tell you to go fuck yourself. Right. So it's like, you know, I don't play those games. I don't let anybody tell me anything. I don't let anybody look down on me. I don't let nobody do anything. But it's like not me trying to be a tough ass or a hard ass, blah blah blah. It's literally just respect. Right. Like I'm not like, if you disrespect me, I'm not gonna be like, oh, let's fucking fight. I'll kick your ass. I'm stronger than you, bro. It's none of that. Yeah. For me, it's just like, if you're not gonna respect me, I'm just gonna walk away. Yeah. Like if you're like, oh, you're a bitch, blah blah blah, I'll walk away, and then I won't give you the time of day. Right. You know, like if you respect me and you ask me to do it, right, I got you. I'll do it. Yeah. But if you tell me and like order me to fucking do it, I'm probably gonna go tell you to fuck yourself. Because I don't play that game. I have so much respect for myself. I have so much pride in myself that I'm not gonna let anybody step all over me. Because my entire life, I let people step all over me. I let people do whatever the hell, you know, they tell me, oh, do this, do that, blah blah blah. You know, go over here, go do that. And you know, look what it did. Like, I have little respect for anybody now. My emotions are shut. You know, I could care less about anything. I'm in like I don't give a fuck mood all the time. And it sucks. But, you know, I'm working on it. I'm getting better. I'm going more out there. I'm talking to more people. But it's like, I still don't have that oomph. Right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I definitely did, 100%, bro. You have grown a lot in the time that we've known each other. At least from my eyes. Well, I mean, like, when we first met, when you first started over there, I didn't say shit to you. Oh, yeah. I didn't give a damn who you were. I didn't even know who you were. I didn't even know you worked there. I didn't even know you worked there. You came around the corner, I was like, who the fuck's this guy? Now we have a podcast. At the time, I was like, who the fuck's this guy? And I remember asking the old man, I was like, who the fuck is he? Yeah. And they're like, oh, he's the new hire. I'm like, oh. Like, great. I'm like, well, you better not be useless. And then I just walk away. Yeah. Because like then I didn't care who you were. I didn't know who you were. I didn't want to know who you were. Yeah. I didn't care. Yeah, and then I don't remember. I think
I think the old man
introduced us.
Yeah, I think he had me doing some work outside, and he was like, yo, this is Kidrick. He's going to be the guy for you to, like, talk to and, like, answer to and all that stuff. Like, if you have any questions, like...
I was basically your boss.
Yeah. I go to him, and just, he knows how to do everything. I've taught him how to do everything, of course. And I was like, all right, cool. And I think I was weed eating. They were doing bottling, and I was weed eating, and you were doing something, whatever you were doing. And I went to go... I think I had to go put the line in the weed eater.
Yeah.
And all I remember old man talking about was like, all right, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and pick it up, all right, and then you're gonna look through it, and you're gonna turn around until you see daylight. You see daylight, you're gonna take the thread, you're gonna thread it through, and you're gonna pull it out there, even cut it, and then wind it up, all right? And I didn't understand a damn thing this guy said.
What's so funny is that nobody ever understands him except for me.
So
I talk to him and I hear him as clear as day. You know? He's an old white countryman, so his speaking ability is not the best.
He is super country, and far out country, right?
He does look very
borderline.
Go get the cattle some water.
Dude, it's amazing. Anyways, now I understand him a little bit better because I've been hanging around his crazy ass. But I didn't have a damn clue what the fuck he was talking about. And as soon as the trim or the string fell off, I was like, oh crap. I'm like, all right, lift it up and look for daylight. I'm like, well, I see daylight. It's behind me. I'm like, there's got to be something. So I think I went to the barn. I think you were in there, something like that. And you were probably like, oh yeah, look. Here you go. I'm like, all right, nice.
I remember you telling me because I was like, because you asked, you're like, the string fell out. I was like, oh okay. I was like, here, let me see it real quick. And then I told you, and you were telling me that you're like, oh yeah, the old man was telling me to look for daylight or do something, and blah blah. He's like, I couldn't understand a fucking word he was saying, and I was like, I got you, no worries. I was like, nobody can ever understand him. So then I did it all for you, and then I gave it to you, and I showed you also, and then I gave it to you, and I was like, there you go.
Yeah, and I'm the type of guy, I'm the type of person that my first interaction with someone tells me a lot about them, because if you don't know me and I don't know you, and we've never met or anything, and your first interaction with me is you're cool, you're chill, you're mellow, I know that inside you're a good person.
Yeah.
But if your first interaction with me is you're just a douchebag, yeah, then I'm like, oh, you're one of those people. Okay, I'm not gonna. And our first interaction was I needed some help doing some things, and I remember our first interaction, and you were cool, and I was like, oh man, it's a cool guy.
I've always learned that the same way. The way I look at everybody is immediately you're a douche to me. I look at you, you're an ass. I don't like you.
Right.
But that's because that's how most of my interactions go.
Yeah.
So most of the time, what I've learned is be nice, be cool, be chill, until you get their response.
Right.
So when you came up and you were asking me, oh, you didn't know what the fuck I was saying and blah blah blah, I just laughed and I was like, that's funny because nobody ever does.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's why I was just being cool with you. I was like, yeah, man. I was like, this is how you do it, blah blah blah. You just stick it through here, wind it up, and you're done. And I was cool with you. And then I gave it back, and then after that we didn't speak. Because you did all your work and then I left.
Yeah.
And then what's funny is that you complimented my truck. Because that's when I had the black Dodge.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So you complimented my truck, you said my truck looked cool, and I was like, thanks dude,
It was lifted headlights, wheels and shit. Yeah.
Because it was a leveling kit, and then I bought wheels for it and stuff.
It looked good.
So, and I had everything blacked out.
Murder!
So, yeah, I remember you complimenting my truck. And then I was like, alright. I was like, well, he likes my truck. I was like, I want to see what he thinks about the Volkswagen. So that's when I brought the Volkswagen, and that's when you were saying that, oh, your friends have Volkswagens, you go to Volkswagen shows, and that's when we started talking more because of the Volkswagen. And then
I was like, that's sick!
Yeah, and then remember we saw, I think I made a Dragon Ball Z quote or something like that, and you knew what I was saying.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, I was like, you watch Dragon Ball Z? And you were like, oh yeah, I've watched it my whole life. And after that, we blew up.
Yeah.
We were just friends from there. I was like,
I just become best friends?
I was like, I just made a new friend.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit. And from there on, we've just been how we are now. I mean, shit. Hey guys, this is Kidrick. Just wanted to say that this video was way too long, so we're going to go ahead and make this into a 2-part video. Thank you for all your support. We love you. And just keep listening on because we have a lot more stuff to talk about. And Hope y'all really enjoy. Thank you. Peace.